Oh, we're doing that.
Cold with the flow. Cold with the flow. You're supposed to go cold.
Go.
Anyway, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
So excited.
I'm excited too. It's Alexis,
And Shannon.
and we are
With the flow.
So this is our first episode of our podcast, so we're a little nervous. So work with us here, but it's gonna be fun. We got this.
Super fun.
We got this.
And super informative.
Super informative and fun. Fun and informative. The two things we love in a podcast. Great. No, I'm kidding. So a little bit about us.
Views.
Hashtag views. Hashtag ratings. Hashtag.
Call us.
We don't have a phone number for y'all to call us at, so don't do that.
Spotify. 386-822-7100.
Stetson admissions. Okay, that's our nerves. So pretty much what we're gonna do is run through. Would you want us to run through the whole thing and then do it again?
No, you could. This is just you. Just shoot. Actually, shoot the shit. But like, just
Ooh, Lane said a
but-
bad
but
word.
just put like just talking and just going through so that
Okay.
you get that muscle memory
Okay.
of the show, and then whenever
We're really not singing that song. We're really not
We're
gonna
really
sing
not.
that song.
I can always put it at the beginning. Too.
That's so stupid.
I mean, you already did it. So.
I know. I mean, you could as a blooper, but no. So, like I said, I'm Alexis, and
I'm Shannon.
yeah. So we are directors at Stetson University in DeLand, Florida, and honestly, we were like, let's meet people where they're at and do a podcast. You know, we're young, we're millennials, but the unique thing about us is that we're actually co-directors.
Yes.
It's not in our titles as co-director. So I'm director of recruitment.
Director of admissions.
So I do like the front-facing work of the admissions process, like kind of our branding, what we're saying, how we're gonna say it, what things look like, and Shannon does like the data.
Data, numbers, strategies, decisions.
All those things.
All those things.
Yeah.
But
so,
we were also essentially co-associates.
Yeah,
If you think about it too.
we were. So we'll get into a little bit about who we are soon. But kind of what our podcast is about, it's about higher education. It's about the admissions process as well. But it's also not so stuffy. Like, we're going to have fun with it as well. If need. You good?
My Red Bull got me.
She had to burp.
My Red Bull got me. I'm so sorry. So don't bring Red Bull in.
Don't bring Red Bull to a podcast, guys. But that's really what it's about. So, you know, throughout this process, we're going to take you through the admissions process, but kind of giving you our take on it and how we feel about it as well. The cool thing about this, the way this all came about, was Shannon and I actually did a funny TikTok video about Crumble Cookie. If you haven't had Crumble Cookie, like, shout out to Crumble Cookie, because they also commented on the TikTok that we did. But we just did like a cookie review.
Yeah, my vibe was contagious.
Those are the words of Crumble Cookie. Her vibe was contagious. And so people saw it, thought it was funny, and then we were like, people need to see how great and funny we are.
Yeah.
So we we're like, let's do a podcast, but not on cookies. This is, like I said, higher ed related.
Yeah.
So we decided, like, our university has so many great tools, and so we were like, let's use them.
Yeah.
So we're recording this in What Radio? This is a Stetson student-led radio station. Our show manager is Lane Davis. Shout out to Lane.
Lane, woo!
He's in the background. You guys can't see him. But at some point, we're going to get some videos of him so that you can see him. And probably put him in front of the mic, too. He's used to being behind the mic or to the side of the mic.
Putting on the spot.
We're looking at him right now. Hello, Lane. He's actually a student, so that's really cool, too. But we're going to get into about our journey. Shan, start us off. How did you get here?
Okay. Super long story.
You have...
2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I see that. She's got me on a schedule because I'm a talker. Long story short is I graduated from Stetson in 2014 with a biology degree with a double minor in education and psychology, thinking I was going to be a high school science teacher. Not where I'm at. I interned and was a student ambassador here on campus for all 4 years. I loved it. I went home for a little while, worked in a restaurant, and I came back for alumni weekend, and my old boss for ambassadors like, listen, there's a job opening, apply, see what happens. That was in November. I applied, saw what happened, and I arrived as an admissions recruiter in February 2015, and I essentially have been working here in Stetson since. And I've worked my way up from admissions recruiter to assistant director, associate director, and now director of admissions.
You gotta put the little stank on when you say director. It's not just director, it's director. Like when we were associates, we used to be like, we are the associate directors. Fun fact though, actually, Shannon was my boss.
I was.
Yeah, I know. How long you been at Stetson?
8 years.
Not including when you were a student.
Not including when I was a student.
If y'all could have seen her face close up, that was funny. She's like, oh my gosh, 8 years.
I started school in August of 2010.
I was getting ready to go to high school. We're not even going to get into our ages right now. That's not even the point. But that's dope.
Yeah. And I think college is a great place to be able to find what you love and what you don't love. And it's okay to think you have a passion, because I did magnet high school, all of that, all in the sciences, thinking I was going to be a doctor, cure cancer, all of it. And I found different passions. I did Greek life here. Like I said, was involved in the Office of Admissions a lot. I was in Circle K, which is Service Club. And I just found other passions that I really loved on the student life, student affairs. And I took a chance, because what a lot of people are going through now, you need all this experience. And I just couldn't get any experience. So it sucked. So I applied, and I was like, this is only for short term. Look at me 8 years later. Here I am. It did suck.
She worked in a chicken shack, y'all.
I did. See our chicks.
Maybe they'll sponsor us one time with chicken
Listen,
wing.
it's really good chicken salad, and they had giant cookies. But, I mean, it gave me the customer service, the service industry.
I thought you were about to say it gave you the community. I was like, you got a community. Look at all those chickens.
No. But no, I think it's a big, important thing to think about, too, is, like, college. Like, yes, you can have this whole plan, and your whole plan can be blown up. But as long as you, like, get through it and just figure out what you want and you have a good support system, you can continue to work your way up and do fall in love with it. Okay. And now I have new goals than when I did as an 18-year-old, which I hope a lot of people do. Additional, new, different things. So, but yeah, you can have a whole plan and it not go your way, but still be really successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good to have a plan as long as, like, your goal, I mean, you said your goals changed from 18 to your age now. Mm-hmm. And it's good to have goals. And if that plan messes up or blows up, as you said, like, that's fine. But as long as you reach that end goal of whatever it is, yeah, you're good. I mean, I think it's cool too. So I'll go. I started 4 years ago at Stetson. Mm-hmm. 4 years ago, yeah. I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach. Shout out, Eagles. We really didn't make that sound, but
she did.
I did. I graduated with a degree, a Bachelor's of Science in Homeland Security. All my life, I was like, I'm gonna go work for the FBI. And the cool thing was that both my parents are retired military, so that's why I was like, that's all I knew. Graduated a semester early, was a track athlete, loved that. I'm not gonna say I really loved being a track athlete. My body hurts now. My knees feel like peanut brittle most days, y'all. Peanut brittle.
It's like the SpongeBob, oh, my leg.
My knees. My knees. But I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just like, I don't want to work for the government right now. And so I knew I wanted to get another degree, and I was working in retail. I was working at Vineyard Vines. Mm-hmm. And a lady came in and was like, you got to meet my friend. And the lady that I met, her name was Dana Dalbo. Shout out to Dana Dalbo. She is the current director of admissions at High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. And she was like, here's my card. Reach out to me. You should be an admissions recruiter. Like, I don't want to do that. But I did know I wanted to work in higher ed. Like, I graduated and knew I wanted to work in higher ed. Mm-hmm. Like, my last semester of college, my dad was a dean of students, a VP of student affairs. Mom was a professor at some point. So I knew higher ed was for me.
Been in your life.
Yeah, it was like bred in me, but didn't know until later.
Yeah.
That it was in me. And so the cool thing was that got a job here at Stetson in April of 2019, and same way, worked my way up just like you. Admissions recruiter, assistant director of admissions and financial aid. Let me just say this, for all of you people out there who are directors or getting to that point, do not make anybody an admissions recruiter and a financial aid counselor at the same time.
That was a lot.
That was 9 months of tears.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
It sucked.
But it may have sucked, like, in the sense of trying to figure out the job because I'm so type A and you know that.
Yes.
Like, but it was probably the most satisfying and rewarding job I've ever done.
I get that.
Because you have to fight, like not like in the sense of like pow pow pow, but like you're managing both sides of the desk of
Yeah.
like the financial aid and the admissions portion, and
Yeah.
like when you know that you had a firsthand experience in helping that student get here, which you can do in admissions too, it's really satisfying. So
It also gave you some new skills.
yeah,
Whole financial aid.
I love financial aid now. I'm obsessed with it. I love money, but I love money because I love fashion. Hit me up if you got any clothes that you want me to.
We digress.
Sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, so worked my way up, became a director of recruitment, and genuinely love it. Like that's one of the most rewarding things. I mean, I'm really shocked at how fast things have kind of taken off, but I've loved it, and it's cool that I get to do it with one of my friends as well. And it's also kind of a cool and weird dynamic sometimes because it's like Shannon used to be my boss, and then we became equals when we became the associate directors and then co-directors, and we ain't gonna lie, it's not always easy.
Love her though.
I love you too, but some days
It's like a sisterly. Like you love and then you hate sometimes. It's an up down days.
we have more ups than
Always
downs.
love, but like, what is she doing?
Or like sometimes I'm like, Shan, think of it this way, and she's like, nope, this is how we're doing it. It's my way or the highway, and I'm like, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. But the good thing is, like, I will say, if any of you are in a co-directorship or thinking about moving towards that, because we are seeing trends in higher ed that people are moving towards doing the co-directorship thing, especially in admissions. Like, just make sure that you and your co-director have an open line of communication and come to an understanding of like trusting each other. Like trust each other's leadership, trust that when you're not here that the other person's going to be your soundboard as well and say what you need to be said as well. Understand your strengths and your weaknesses. I think the good thing about you and I is like, which is so weird and crazy, that my strengths are your weaknesses and your strengths are my weaknesses. So literally we got the yin and yang paper plate award this year.
We did.
And it's perfect. I don't remember who was yin and I don't remember who was yang, but yeah, I don't know. But that's a little bit about our journey.
It's on our
though.
door.
It is on our door.
Yeah.
It's a little bit about our journey.
Yeah. But I think it's a really interesting journey too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but apart co-directorship, but like also I think a big thing that we do really well. Well, I think we do. Other people might not. We're like partners in it. We make it very known that this is like a partnership, and even our team knows and our leadership knows that I normally will always go to you for stuff and vice versa. Of like, I know this is my boundaries of this is your criteria and this is my criteria, but also understanding like this is what I think we can do, but working together on it.
Yeah.
It's like you have your set job descriptions.
Yeah.
I have mine, you have yours, but we're working together to help get a class as partners.
Yeah. I love that.
Thanks.
Partners in crime. Well, not crime, in good. We're not doing crime. We're trying to get a class here, people.
Partners in education.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, so like we said, we're gonna talk a little bit about admissions, and the first thing we're gonna talk about is the school list. So if you don't know, in admissions, there is a process. There's also a cycle in admissions, and we're gonna give tips and tricks on like the student side of things, and then also tips and tricks on like the counselor side of things, whether it be the high school counselor or whether it be the admissions counselor side of things. So Shannon, take it away about the school list.
The list. And everyone always talks about, like, I have to make this list. And like, well, what's your college list? It's like 23 schools. That's huge. 23 schools. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. Like, if that's what makes you feel comfortable. But ideally, you have set, it's kind of like SMART goals on this school list, right? And you have what's called a reach school, a target school, and a safety school. And so this can help you round out the types of schools that you are applying to, even just looking into, because you want a good, well-rounded, you don't want all reach schools. So reach schools are your dream school. It's a middle percentage, small to middle percentage that you would get accepted. It's what people say is your dream school.
Yeah, like 15, like to put in the thought process of like, you have a 15% or less chance to potentially get into the school. Like these schools have acceptance rates of like 11 to 10%.
Think of the Ivies. When you think of a reach school, that's, even if an Ivy is not on your list, that's okay. But that's the mentality of like, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to apply anyways. And then if it works, it works. So like you should still have, 2 reach schools. That's kind of a 1 to 2 reach schools, because you don't want to do, so many more essays and applications. But kind of having that opportunity to get to those types of schools, those types of caliber of schools, that everyone talks about, those should always be on your list just to try it out. Why not? Yeah. I applied to those schools and I knew it wasn't gonna happen for me with my high school grades, but it was still like, I applied there. Like, that's kind of cool to think about. Like, I have a chance to be like where all they talk about in the movies, or...
I mean, also too, on the admission side of things, know what your school is. Like, know if your school's a reach school too. Like, know what your school is, so that, when you are talking to students out there and they're coming to you and they're like, oh, I put you on my list. Like, we as admissions professionals and just education professionals, I think in general, need to start asking those deeper questions of like, okay, where are we on your list? Are we your reach school? Are we your target school? Are we going to be your safety school? Like, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
Take it away, Shannon.
For sure.
A little bit about that target school.
But target schools are the schools you have a really good chance of getting into. It's like that 15 to 70%. Yeah, so like there's that slight chance, you never really know. But you're pretty confident of like, I have the grades, I have the extracurriculars, I have the test scores if they need it. And this is something that you want to do. It's pretty good. Like, you're feeling good about it. And that should still be 2 to 3, a good amount. So you have options, because if those reach don't work out, you still have some options when we go down the list. But a target is kind of that good middle ground. You have a small connection, like, maybe I need to talk to my counselor, or maybe I need to look at my transcript one more time. But target schools definitely should be the majority of that list.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say on that.
And then safety schools.
Yeah.
This is a school you're getting into. Like, there's no second guess. There's like, maybe. No,
Yeah.
you're getting in.
Don't be me. I literally only applied to one school and got in.
Yeah.
I loved it. But don't also be that person that, don't box yourself into one school, because you never know. Like, you may get
Don't think you're only good enough for safety schools. Like, you're good enough for your reach school. Like, have that confidence in yourself. But
hold on.
Also have a realistic view of
because
your grades, all of it, what the cost is. Being a realist in the college process is also really important when it comes to
it will save your feelings in the end of the day. Because we don't want you applying for Harvard and you over here got like a 2.5. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not getting into Harvard with a 2.5. And if you do, you must have broke the mold some way, somehow. Because there's just not happening. You did something. That's just not happening. But that's okay though. So, I mean, like I said, know your schools, know your reach, know your target, know your safety schools. And like I said, I think as educational professionals moving forward, we should start using those terms of like, my school is a this type of school, my school is a this. And like we said, like, acceptance rates determine those schools as well. And things like that.
Or people's perception too.
Yeah, people's perception is another big thing too.
Like, numbers are important, but numbers aren't everything when it comes to college. There's so many other things that you need to do, whether it's like visiting or just calling your admissions recruiter. Our team is like the nicest team, and my admissions recruiter was like the nicest lady ever. And I was so scared of her. There's no reason to be scared of us.
Who's your admissions recruiter?
Her name is Sandy Waldron.
Oh, mine was named Darnell Butler. Shout out, Darnell.
Shout out, Sandy.
We love you guys. You guys got us into school, and we ended up getting second degrees. I meant to say that. I did graduate from Stetson with a master's degree.
You did.
Like, I am a hatter.
You did.
I was a hatter at heart, and now I'm a hatter on paper, too.
Yes. You have it.
I know. And working on a third. I'm crazy. I digress, though.
Yeah. But the list, if you're applying to more than 7 schools, May the force be with you, my friend.
Apply through the Common App.
Apply, like, just really understand what goes into it, whether it's essays, test scores, different things. Are there separate scholarship opportunities, essays, applications? There's so much that goes into it. So don't overwhelm yourself just because you see it on TikTok. I see it on TikTok too. Everyone's like listing out accepted waitlist, and it's like 20 schools. That's a lot. But if that's what you want to do, like, you need to do you, boo. But like 5 to 7 is a perfect number, I think, for applying for schools because you have the opportunities.
Lane, how many schools did you apply to? He's laughing. He doesn't even remember. Say only one, and it was Stetson, and that was your reach school, and you knew.
Be honest.
I'm kidding.
I applied to 3. I got denied from UF. I got accepted to USF.
Okay.
And I got accepted to UCF, but I went to my local community college, got my AA, and then transferred to Stetson.
Oh, cool.
So-
I didn't realize you were a transfer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our show managers are transferring.
That's so cool.
We're just learning Lane.
I love
We're gonna
that.
have a segment called
Learning Lane.
He's gonna be. We're gonna learn more about Lane. Learn about Lane. I love that. All right. So, like I said, it's not gonna all be stuffy. Let's get on this game.
Okay.
We're
That's
gonna
all
play
you.
Would You Rather. Well, I'm gonna start, and we're gonna go back and forth. You can pick any question, but I'm gonna start the first question. So
Okay.
we're gonna play Would You Rather. Shannon, would you rather? What question do I want to ask you? Would you rather? I'll go with something admissions related. Would you rather give an info session, information sessions? So when you visit our school, if you come on a visit, which shout out, come visit Stetson. When you visit
school.
or any school, we want you to visit any school. We want you to visit Stetson first. That was like ASMR. Go ads. So when you come and visit Stetson, before you go out on your tour, we give an information session so that you learn kind of like more about in depth of Stetson, and it's kind of broken up into 3 different parts, but that's what an info session is. Most universities do that too before they take you out on a tour of their campus. But Shannon, would you rather give info sessions for the rest of your life or read applications for the rest of your life?
There's so many technicalities I can ask about this question. Is it info session at like an event or is it like a regular?
No, it's a regular info session.
I think I'd rather give info sessions.
Really?
Yeah.
You hate to be in front of people.
I don't mind it. Like, I can do it. Who taught you? Like, I can do it.
No, she did. But she did. Anyway.
I can do it, but reading applications I love it and I love learning about students, but like when you're on it, it's a lot and you're just like, fall asleep at your desk sometimes because you're just like so many applications. And I think I'm able to like kind of switch up my energy a little bit on giving info sessions. I think I'm kind of pretty funny. I can crack some mean jokes in an info session, get the family going, or the crowd going, whatever type of information session I'm giving. So I think I'd probably say info session.
Okay.
Hopefully then I can get all my other work done.
Gets the people going. Okay. I agree with that.
I'm going to go non-admissions.
Okay.
Have a pause button or a rewind button.
In life?
Yeah.
A pause button or a rewind button? Oh my god. I feel like a pause button is good when like someone asks you something difficult. Like right now I'd want a pause button because I want to pause this and like think about this question. And then like rewind, I feel like you're rewinding because you've made a mistake and you are regretting something, and I try not to live with regrets. Ooh, we just got really deep. Whoa. I probably have a pause button so that I don't have to regret anything that I did or said.
Okay.
I probably have a pause button.
Yeah.
Lane, what would you do? Pause or rewind?
Rewind sounds more fun.
Really? Isn't there a movie called Rewind? With it's called Click.
Yeah,
With
Click.
Adam Sandler.
Click.
And he could rewind or
Yeah.
pause.
Great movie. Shout out Adam Sandler.
Shout out Adam Sandler. Fun fact, did you know
Yeah.
the Waterboy was shot here
What a
at
segue.
Stetson?
What a segue.
So when you come and visit, you can take a picture of like where the Waterboy was filmed at. And on our, what is the stadium, Spec Martin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, what a segue. That was, I didn't even think about that. Like, that
Go
just,
me.
I'm the one that came with the knowledge, and she's go me.
Listen, I said Adam Sandler. to trigger the thought.
Co-directorship at its finest, people.
Okay.
All right, Jen. Would you rather eat crumble cookies or Jeremiah's Italian ice?
I love me some cookies. Don't get me wrong. But I think Jeremiah's.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little more refreshing, and I can mix it up. Like, I know you can be like, well, the cookies are different. Yeah. But, like, I could get, like, a tart Jeremiah's, or I can get a sweet Jeremiah's, or I could get the ice cream, no ice cream on it.
I'm so shocked you said that. I really thought you would have said crumble.
I know, I really...
Because of your energy.
Well, those last couple were delicious, but they were, like, so sweet. I could only eat half of it.
Yeah, if you
I did have those cookies for a really long time.
If you do,
because I couldn't finish them.
Don't buy more than 4, like, because they're gonna last you.
And then
for
we
a
had to
week.
break them in 4.
Yeah, they're gonna last you. They're so big and thick. But the one thing I do love about crumbles is that they switch it up. Like you never get the same thing. Jeremiah's, yes, they do have some flavors that change, but like everything they pretty.
But they have such a variety all the time. Where Crumble, you have those ones
that week, and then it's Never chocolate chip.
Because if I go in every day, that's 5 days. At Crumble, I'm already done with cookies on Thursday.
Jeez Louise. If you don't know what a Jeremiah's Italian Ice is, it's like a Central Florida-based Italian ice company, and they're so good. And they're like, they have a frog as their like logo. They do come to a lot of our like sporting events and stuff, and like give out.
It's like ice.
Little
ice
Italian
cream.
ice. It's so good. Like you can get gelati, which is like soft serve, and the ice mixed together, or you can just do the ice. I just do the ice.
I do the mix.
But shout out to Crumble and Jeremiah's.
Yes. Okay.
Ice.
I've been wanting to ask this one. Would you read essays or conduct interviews?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
I wanted to give that one to you. Darn.
Beat you.
Conduct
This chair's
interviews.
really
Yeah, that chair was loud. I was like, did you just like flag? Oh wow.
Come on, we only have 30 minutes.
I know. Let's see. I would rather. And I think I really want to conduct an interview because you ever read a text message? Let me put this back in y'all's terms, okay? When you ever read a text message and it could be like okay, and you sit there and think that okay is like the end. Like, I'm sorry, when my dad texts me the word okay, I'm like, oh goodness, I'm in trouble. Sorry, Dad, shout you out though.
Oh,
but
you know the way I feel about that.
yeah, it's just like okay.
My anxiety goes through the roof.
Skyrocket. So like if I'm reading an essay, like I think students have some of the best essays at times.
Yeah.
Like especially when like they're vulnerable. Like shout out to you at being such a young age and being able to be so vulnerable and telling us your life story. Which like
it's
as
hard.
admissions counselors, like we love that. We want to know about you. We want to know about your life story. Like tell us who you are because it could be that make or break as to you may be that person we give that chance to if like your grades aren't the best or your extracurriculars aren't all the way where they need to be, but we also are understanding of that in people's situations. I just think with interviews, body language is a big thing. Inflection of their voice, how loud they get, how soft they talk, things like that. You can read a person a lot better because like if I'm reading an essay and then I call a student, their energy just may be different. So I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather conduct interviews, even though I do feel like I spend a lot of interviews, like there's a lot of energy to exuberate. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
This is a good one. I've been wanting to ask you.
Okay.
Read essays or conduct an...
Well, we got the
Get out!
Only us. It would be a fire alarm.
Okay, we gotta tell you a story when we come back.
We gotta go. We're back. So I don't know if you heard the big sirens blaring. Don't cut that part out of the podcast. I promise you, don't do that. Most of this isn't even edited anyway. But they were testing. Thankfully, it was a test. They were testing the fire alarm. So here at Stetson, we are all about your safety first. We don't work in this building, which is called the Carlton Union Building, the Cub. So it was a test. We didn't know it was going to happen. And we're getting ready to go down the stairs, and we see someone, and I'm like, is this a test or it's real? He's like, oh, it's a test. I'm sorry. And Shannon and I, we busted out laughing because, side story. So my first year here at Stetson, I have the Georgia area, or did, And we do something called accepted student receptions in the spring. A lot of colleges will do them for accepted students all across the United States. So it's about 7:30 in the morning, and we're in our hotel room. Shannon's in her bed. I'm in mine. And Shannon, take it away, because you probably tell the story a lot better, because I was half asleep when it was all going on.
So I like hear this alarm, and I'm like, we didn't set an alarm this early because our event's not till later. Like, we set a time that we can sleep in until sunrise, because we didn't land till late the night before. It's like, we can sleep in, we can go pick up our food, go to Target, do what we need to do. Event from 2 to 4. Boom. Set. 7:30 rolls around. So I'm like, hearing this alarm, I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's not an alarm. And I just get this feeling. And I get up and I go to the door and I like peek through the hole and I open the door and there's people running down the halls. The sirens are going off. And I turn to Alexis and I'm just like with the door open and I'm like, get up. Get up. I said, the fire alarm's going off. And this one goes, nope, you're lying. Like, honestly, probably ignores me the first time. So I think I throw a pillow. I rip her sheets off. She still doesn't believe me.
I thought she was dreaming.
I like run back to the door and I open it and there's people running by and I said, get up or I'm leaving you. She flies. I've never seen her move so fast. And she was a track star. She gets up so fast. And during this time too in Atlanta that we were there.
First time it snowed, I think they said in like 2-3 years. Or like, so at the time it wasn't snowing. It was just cold. It was so cold and we didn't really bring like the best of clothes for it. We don't really have jackets and stuff like that. We didn't prepare. So Shannon is smart enough to grab the keys. We go downstairs, we get in the car, and she's like, why? And it's like almost in tears but laughing. I'm dying to laugh.
We're like in our pajamas.
Tennis
with
shoes.
Just like sweatshirts thrown on.
Yeah.
Tennis shoes. I think I threw my hair up in a bun.
We're doing it again. It's an omen. It's out.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
We'll keep going.
And so we go to Target, get all of our stuff, and then we come back and
we're still in our
pajamas going to Target. So they
all of this
thought in Norcross, Georgia. Shout out to the Target in Norcross, Georgia for just letting us be who we are. We looked a mess. We were driving the Hot Mess Express train that day. But I think it's an omen of like fire alarms going off the first time we do something, because we had to plan this accepted student reception ourselves. And this was one of the biggest ones.
You did it mostly.
Yeah, I had your help.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. See, co-directorship at its finest.
You did it a lot, but then we're just like.
But like giving, like this was the biggest accepted student reception we've had in like forever.
Yeah.
And it was huge at that time. Especially in Georgia. Yeah. Still the biggest one to this day. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. And so we're like, now we think fire alarms are an omen.
It's an omen. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get back to the questions though. Last question though. Shannon, would you rather be Simone Biles or LeBron James?
Oh. Simone.
Yeah, I know. Did you see Gabby Douglas is coming back?
Yes.
That's amazing. This is not a sports podcast, but sorry.
I cannot do it, so like props, but I'm a gymnastics girly when it comes to the Olympics. If it's on, I'm watching it.
I love that.
So I do love basketball. I played it in high school. Not that great, but I played. But I don't know. I just think like also it's like a bigger stage. Not saying that LeBron, because he played in the Olympics as well on basketball. Yeah. But I don't know. Just like I'm a gymnastics girly at heart, even though I could never do it. I wish I could be.
I love that.
I wish I could be a Simone Biles, Shawn Johnson.
I'm not doing this. We're going to wrap this up. Because she's over here reminiscing about what this shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's like, we're going to keep sticking with what we do. But we appreciate you guys tuning in to Code with the Flow. What's to come? Let's see. We'll talk even more about the admissions process. We're really going step by step in the process. So, like, right now, like we said, if you're that junior, or even if you're a senior, really if you're a senior, but even if you're a junior, you can even do it as a sophomore if you wanted to. Or even as a freshman. If you're in high school, start making that list of schools that are going to be your reach, target, and safety schools. Kind of figure out where you fall right now. If you aren't a senior, you maybe have still some time to kind of fluctuate, and maybe your target school could be your reach school, or your reach school could become your target school, whatever it may be. Start doing that research now. Get ahead of the game. Let's not get your head in the game. No, get ahead of the game.
No, get your head in the game.
But I said get ahead of the game.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, I'm not gonna show our ages though, but tune back into us with Alexis and
Shannon.
with
Go with the flow.
See ya.
Bye.